This is the Irish Bend covered bridge on the Oregon State University campus in Corvallis. Originally this bridge was near Irish Bend, that's why it's called the Irish Bend covered bridge, which is close to the road to Monroe. And now it's over Oak Creek, which is a small creek, goes from the hills, joins the Marys River about a mile from here. And I've been here before, but today I'm going to just be focusing on the bridge. And of the covered bridges of Oregon, some are still used for traffic, usually on relatively minor roads like the Harris covered bridge where we've been. And then some of them have been moved to where they are not really carrying traffic. And this one is kind of in the middle because it does carry this road, and maybe cars can even go over here, but this is mostly a bicycle and pedestrian bridge. And it is also, I assume, been retrofitted. You know, when you get a bridge that was built in the 1920s or 30s, they didn't really know how seismics worked. So now I think we've had it retrofitted with probably some things to strengthen the structure. But it still looks like an old covered bridge. Right here we have a little path down to Oak Creek, so I'm just going to follow this path and see what this creek is like. Of course, we are in September, so it's pretty low. Creek probably gets a lot higher than this at times. This isn't really a park, this is just part of the Oregon State University campus. So, you know, this is just kind of a little path through the woods. We have a Steller's jay here, and as mentioned, as you get further away from where people are, they're more likely to be seen. Now he's hiding. But here we can see a more common California scrub jay. So they both exist in the same ecosystem, and I think they have slightly different strengths, but they often coexist, although not peacefully. I've seen them fighting over territory before. So here we have these little white structures in the creek, and at first I thought that was you know, an unfortunate example of discarding waste, but they look like they are regularly placed. There's two, and then there's one more up ahead. So I'm assuming that that's actually some type of research project or study done by the university. Oregon State University has a very good university of environmental biology, so these might be tracking fish or invertebrates or something like that. It'd be interesting to know, but I'll just have to guess. How far the gravel is also shows probably the normal bed of the creek, you know, so it's several feet above where it is now. Where I'm standing now would normally be under 2 feet of water, and then in flood times, probably all the way up to like where this tree here would be covered, you know, during the height of the rain. So now we're seeing this creek at a more placid time. Well, there is this downed log to cross the creek, but I think I'm going to just try to wade across it. So the creek is called Oak Creek for a reason. It goes through relatively open oak forests. But here next to the creek, you know, where there's more water, we also see plants that are more riparian. Here we have Oregon ash, very common along creek beds. And over here we have a maple, and I don't actually know what type of maple this is. Those don't look like big leaf maples. Those leaves aren't very big. So that could be another species of maple. There are several species of maple in the area, or it could be just a big leaf maple with small leaves. And then for understory plants in a place like this, we have a lot of Oregon grape. Here you can see why it's called Oregon grape. They have this kind of like the grape-like berries. And we also have snowberry. This is snowberry. You can see the little snow-shaped berries. That's not snow-shaped berries, little white berries. Heracleum, and then over here, yeah, we had a hawthorn. So these are pretty typical overstory and understory plants for like kind of this riparian, a riparian forest. Also, look at the ground. Look at all those cracks. So when you have muddy ground like this, it expands and contracts. And in the summer when it's very dry, it, you know, contracts and it cracks open like that. So, you don't want to say this is pretty typical. That's not a bad thing. This is a very nice forest. So let's continue back along this trail. Cross orb weaver. Uh-oh, sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. Non-native spider, but as far as I know, not harmful to the ecosystem and probably helpful. Spiders usually are. And they usually are coming out, or they're reaching their full size in September and into October. So I think they're very beautiful. Maybe I should come back here with my tripod and just set it down and like make one of those 1 hour of relaxing sounds videos. So I'm back at the covered bridge. Oh, it's only a couple hundred feet up and down the trail, so it's only, you know, a few minutes walk. You can see the covered bridge, and then beyond it you can see the arch of the current road bridge. This is just a little relaxing walk. You know, I already went somewhere Friday, so I just decided to come out here today, by request of somebody actually. The one thing I regret is, like I said, this is late September, so, you know, the only birds I've seen or heard have been the two types of jays, and then I've seen, you know, some wasps and some cross orb weavers. So it might be interesting to come here at a different time of year when, you know, the plants are sprouting or in flower, and there's a richer type of insects and maybe mammals and birds. So one thing I was wrong about, this isn't another bridge here. From a distance, this looked like a graceful concrete arch. This is just a corrugated metal pipe. So over here, we see some bigger oak trees, and next to the river where they're shaded out, they were growing a little bit smaller, but here we see the oak trees when they grow to a size to dominate fields. And these buildings, like this one, and these fields around here, this is all part of Oregon State University, which is, among other things, an agricultural college. So these are part of the campus, but if you didn't know that, and you didn't know how close you were to Corvallis, this would just look like typical farmland, but this is actually university facilities. Okay, so that was just a quick little trip down here, and I hope I showed a few things, and like I said, it would be interesting to come back here at a different time, you know, and see this ecosystem in different states. But for now, it's a Sunday and I'm going home.